Have you ever felt the sting of being wrongly accused? The crushing weight of a situation where truth seems to be a distant whisper, lost in a storm of mistreatment. Imagine the world closing in, the walls of reality blurring, and the very fabric of your life unraveling because of something you didn't do. This isn't just a story about injustice. It's a story about the human spirit, about the core of who we are when we are stripped of everything. It's about the profound loneliness of being misunderstood and the desperate longing for someone to see the real you, the person hidden beneath layers of accusation and fear. Think about the times you felt unfairly judged, the moments when your intentions were twisted and your actions misinterpreted. Maybe it was in a relationship, a friendship, or even at work. Did you feel trapped, your voice lost in the noise of others' perceptions? Did you long for someone to believe in you, to stand by your side when the world seemed to be against you? This feeling, this core experience, is the heart of what we're going to explore. We will delve into the depths of what it means to be wrongly accused, to be stripped of your freedom, and to navigate the treacherous terrain of a life turned upside down. We often find ourselves in situations where we are wrongly judged, misunderstood, or unfairly treated. It can be a devastating experience that leaves us feeling isolated, vulnerable, and questioning our own worth. The story we are about to embark on isn't just about the external forces that shape our lives. It is about the internal battles we face when we are confronted with adversity. It's about the resilience of the human heart, the capacity for hope in the darkest of times, and the unexpected connections that can bloom in the most desolate of landscapes. We'll journey with those who have faced similar trials, feeling the weight of their circumstances and the slow erosion of their spirits under the burden of false accusations. We will witness the courage it takes to hold on to hope when everything seems lost, and the transformative power of connection and unwavering support. This is about finding the strength within to face the world, no matter how unjust it may seem. It's a story of survival, of finding light in the shadows, and of ultimately reclaiming your own narrative. The weight of false accusation, however, often triggers deeper, pre-existing vulnerabilities. It's not merely the external injustice that breaks us, it's the internal landscape where we already harbor self-doubt, fears of unworthiness, or a deep-seated need for external validation. Consider, for instance, the person who, even before the accusation, struggled with feelings of inadequacy. The false charge becomes a confirmation of their worst fears, a validation of the belief that they are fundamentally flawed or unworthy of love and acceptance. Furthermore, building on this, the experience can activate our attachment styles. Those with anxious attachment might become consumed by fear of abandonment, constantly seeking reassurance and fearing rejection. Conversely, those with avoidant attachment could withdraw, erecting emotional walls to protect themselves from further hurt, thus isolating themselves from potential support. Another crucial layer is how our past experiences shape our reactions. If we've endured prior betrayals or injustices, the current situation can trigger a cascade of unresolved trauma, making it even harder to process the present. The core of this experience lies in the disruption of our sense of self. When our identity is challenged by false accusations, we may start questioning our values, our actions, and even our sanity. Imagine a skilled surgeon wrongly accused of malpractice. Their entire life's work, the identity they have meticulously crafted, is suddenly under attack. The emotional toll is immense, leading to feelings of confusion, anger, and a profound sense of loss. Consequently, the emotional responses to false accusations can be varied and complex. Some may experience intense anger, a burning desire for retribution. Others may sink into deep despair, feeling helpless and hopeless. Still others might become hypervigilant, constantly scanning their environment for threats, or developing trust issues that erode their ability to form meaningful relationships. Now consider how this applies when you face situations where your integrity is questioned, even if not to the extreme of a legal charge. Have you ever felt as though your character was under attack in a workplace dispute, a family argument, or a social situation? How did your existing beliefs about yourself, your attachment style, or past experiences color your reaction? Did you seek validation, withdraw, or fight back? The key to navigating this emotional minefield lies in recognizing these underlying patterns. It's about developing a deep understanding of your own vulnerabilities, your triggers, and the ways you tend to react under pressure. It's about developing self-compassion, acknowledging your pain without judgment, and seeking support to heal the wounds that the false accusation has reopened. The process of healing begins with self-awareness. Moreover, let's delve into how this experience can reshape our perceptions of others. When we are unjustly accused, our faith in humanity can be deeply shaken. We might become suspicious, distrustful, of those around us, even those we once held dear. The very foundation of our social interactions, trust, can become fractured, making it difficult to form new relationships or maintain existing ones. Building on this, consider the impact on our ability to empathize. While we might initially feel a surge of anger and resentment, the experience can also lead to a heightened sense of empathy for others who have suffered similar injustices. We begin to see the world through a different lens, recognizing the systemic flaws and societal prejudices that can lead to wrongful accusations. This newfound understanding can foster a deeper connection with those who have been marginalized or silenced. Consequently, our understanding of justice itself undergoes a profound transformation. Prior to the accusation, we might have held a simplistic view of the legal system, believing in its inherent fairness. However, after experiencing the injustice firsthand, we become acutely aware of its limitations, its biases, and its potential for corruption. This awakening can ignite a passion for advocacy and a desire to fight for those who have been similarly wronged. Conversely, the experience can also breed cynicism and disillusionment. We might lose faith in the institutions we once trusted, believing that the world is inherently unfair and that justice is unattainable. This can lead to a sense of powerlessness and a withdrawal from social and political engagement. The weight of the injustice can become a heavy burden, shaping our outlook on life and our interactions with others. Another crucial layer is how the experience can affect our ability to forgive. While some may find it liberating to forgive those who have wronged them, others may struggle to let go of their anger and resentment. The act of forgiveness is a complex process, often requiring years of self-reflection and emotional processing. The weight of the accusation and the consequences it entails can make forgiveness seem impossible. Now, consider how this applies to situations where you feel betrayed, misunderstood, or wronged by someone you care about. Did you find yourself questioning their motives, their character, or their intentions? Did it become difficult to trust them again? How did your experience shape your ability to empathize with their perspective, even if you felt hurt? Did you become more guarded, or did you find yourself seeking ways to heal and move forward? The way we view others is often a mirror of our own experiences. Let's now turn our attention to the intricate dance of communication that unfolds in the wake of a false accusation. The ability to connect with others, to express your truth, and to navigate the complexities of human interaction becomes paramount. Yet, the experience of being wrongly accused often throws up formidable barriers to effective communication. The fear of judgment, the erosion of trust, and the sheer exhaustion of fighting for your innocence can make it incredibly difficult to articulate your feelings and needs. Furthermore, consider the challenge of building a safe space for dialogue. When you've been betrayed by a system or by individuals, the very idea of vulnerability can seem terrifying. You may instinctively erect emotional walls, making it difficult to open up and share your experiences. It's like trying to plant a seed in barren soil. The absence of trust and safety hinders growth. The irony is that authentic connection often requires vulnerability, the very quality that feels most perilous in these circumstances. Building on this, the need for clear, concise, and assertive communication becomes vital. It's no longer enough to simply feel your emotions. You must learn to articulate them in a way that is both authentic and effective. This might involve mastering the art of stating your needs, setting boundaries, and challenging misconceptions. Think of it as learning a new language, one designed to protect your inner world while still allowing for connection. Consequently, the ability to listen actively and empathetically takes on a new significance. It's not just about hearing the words of others, but about truly understanding their perspective, even when you disagree with them. This requires a willingness to suspend judgment, to put yourself in their shoes, and to validate their emotions, even if you believe they are mistaken. It's akin to navigating a maze. You need to pay attention to every turn, every shadow, to find your way through. Conversely, the experience can also lead to communication breakdowns. The frustration of being misunderstood, the anger at being falsely accused, and the fear of further betrayal can all lead to defensive behaviors, such as shutting down, becoming overly critical, or lashing out. This, in turn, can further isolate you, reinforcing the feeling of being alone in your struggle. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, where your defensive actions inadvertently create the very distance you fear. Another crucial layer is the role of nonverbal communication. Our body language, facial expressions, and tone of voice often convey more than our words. After being wrongly accused, you might find yourself unconsciously sending signals of distrust, anxiety, or defensiveness. This can inadvertently reinforce negative perceptions and make it harder to connect with others. Now, consider how that applies when you are trying to rebuild trust after a conflict or when you are seeking support from others. Are you able to communicate your needs and feelings effectively, or do you find yourself struggling to express yourself? Are you aware of the messages your body language is sending, and are you able to adjust them to promote connection? Furthermore, the cultivation of self-compassion becomes a cornerstone in navigating the aftermath of wrongful accusation. Imagine a scenario. A seasoned professional, celebrated for their contributions, is falsely implicated in a scandal. The ensuing public scrutiny and professional setbacks could trigger self-blame, a tendency to harshly judge one's own perceived failings. This is where self-compassion steps in, offering a lifeline. It's about treating yourself with the same kindness, understanding, and support you would offer a dear friend facing similar adversity. Building on this, the practice of mindfulness can serve as a powerful tool. Consider a person who, after being falsely accused, finds themselves constantly ruminating over the details of the event, replaying conversations and dwelling on potential outcomes. Mindfulness, however, offers a means to interrupt this cycle. It is about cultivating present moment awareness, observing your thoughts and feelings without judgment. It's not about eliminating negative emotions, but rather about acknowledging them without getting swept away by them. Consequently, establishing healthy boundaries emerges as another crucial element. Suppose a person who has endured a false accusation finds themselves constantly being questioned, pressured to defend themselves, or subjected to unwanted advice. Setting boundaries is about protecting your emotional space and safeguarding your energy. It's about learning to say no to requests that drain you and to limit interactions with individuals who trigger negative emotions. It's like erecting a fence around a garden to protect it from unwelcome intrusions. Conversely, the tendency to isolate can become a major obstacle. Imagine someone who, after being wronged, withdraws from social interaction, fearing further judgment or betrayal. Isolation, however, can exacerbate feelings of loneliness, anxiety, and depression. It's like a ship adrift at sea, without a compass or a crew. The key is to strike a balance, to discern what is needed for self-preservation while also nurturing meaningful connections. Another crucial layer is the importance of seeking professional support. Consider a person struggling to cope with the emotional fallout of a false accusation, experiencing persistent anxiety, or having difficulty sleeping. Therapy offers a safe and confidential space to process these experiences, to develop coping mechanisms, and to heal from trauma. It's akin to having a knowledgeable guide to navigate a complex and unfamiliar terrain. Now, consider how this applies when you are facing a challenging situation, whether it involves the loss of a job, a relationship breakdown, or a health crisis. Are you able to be kind to yourself, to acknowledge your pain without judgment? Are you able to practice mindfulness, to observe your thoughts and feelings without being consumed by them? Are you able to set healthy boundaries, to protect your emotional space, and to seek professional support when needed? Let's now explore the profound shift towards conscious love that can emerge from the ashes of injustice. Imagine a scenario where two individuals, each carrying the weight of past betrayals and misunderstandings, find themselves unexpectedly drawn together. They might initially approach each other with caution, their hearts armored by past hurts. Nonetheless, as they begin to share their stories, they discover a shared understanding, a mutual recognition of the pain of being misunderstood, and a nascent desire for authentic connection. Building on this, the very definition of love transforms. It shifts from a need-based attachment, fueled by insecurity or a desire to fill a void, towards a love that is rooted in freedom, respect, and mutual growth. It's not about possessing or controlling, but about supporting each other's individual journeys, celebrating each other's strengths, and accepting each other's vulnerabilities. This evolution resembles a flower blooming in a harsh landscape. It requires nurturing, patience, and a willingness to let go of preconceived notions. Consequently, the emphasis moves from seeking external validation to cultivating inner acceptance. The individuals involved learn to value their own worth, independent of the opinions of others. They discover that true love doesn't require them to change who they are, but rather encourages them to embrace their authentic selves. This shift can be likened to finding a hidden treasure within oneself, a reservoir of strength and resilience that was previously untapped. Furthermore, a commitment to truth and transparency becomes paramount. Rather than hiding behind masks or engaging in emotional games, they learn to communicate openly and honestly. This means expressing their needs and feelings with clarity, setting healthy boundaries, and being willing to have difficult conversations. This approach builds a solid foundation of trust, allowing a deeper level of intimacy to flourish. Conversely, the experience of being wrongly accused can also lead to a heightened sensitivity to the suffering of others. The individuals involved may develop a profound sense of empathy, recognizing the pain and vulnerability that can accompany the human experience. This can translate into a more compassionate approach to relationships, a willingness to forgive, and a commitment to supporting each other through thick and thin. Another crucial layer is the recognition of the importance of forgiveness, both of oneself and of others. Imagine someone who has been wrongly accused, struggling with feelings of anger and resentment. Releasing these negative emotions is paramount to creating space for love to flourish. Forgiveness does not imply condoning the actions of others, but rather, it involves freeing oneself from the chains of the past, allowing the heart to heal. Now, consider how this applies when you are seeking to build or nurture a relationship. Are you able to approach it with openness, vulnerability, and a willingness to embrace the other person for who they truly are? Are you able to communicate your needs and feelings with honesty and clarity? And are you committed to fostering a relationship based on mutual respect, support, and growth? Moreover, the journey towards conscious love and the aftermath of injustice frequently involves a recalibration of expectations. Prior to such experiences, individuals might harbor romanticized ideals about relationships, believing in a fairy tale narrative of perpetual bliss. However, facing the harsh realities of being wrongly accused can shatter these illusions, compelling a more pragmatic and grounded perspective. This involves understanding that relationships are not always easy. They necessitate work, compromise, and a willingness to navigate inevitable conflicts. This transition resembles a sculptor refining a raw block of stone. The process involves chipping away at imperfections to reveal the beauty within. Building on this, the capacity for empathy undergoes a significant expansion. Those who have endured the sting of false accusations often develop a heightened sensitivity to the suffering of others. They become more attuned to the subtle nuances of human emotions, recognizing the invisible wounds that people carry. Consequently, they approach relationships with a greater degree of compassion, understanding that everyone has their own battles to fight. This heightened empathy is akin to learning a new language, where one can finally grasp the unspoken sentiments of others, fostering deeper connections. Consequently, the concept of vulnerability takes on a new significance. Having experienced the pain of being exposed and misrepresented, individuals might be hesitant to open themselves up again. However, conscious love necessitates taking risks, letting down one's guard, and sharing one's authentic self. This doesn't mean revealing everything at once, but rather gradually building trust and creating a safe space where both partners feel comfortable being vulnerable. The process is similar to planting a tender seedling in uncertain soil. It demands protection and careful nurturing to grow. Conversely, the dynamics of power within relationships often shift. After surviving such an ordeal, individuals may be less inclined to accept unhealthy patterns of control or manipulation. They become more assertive in expressing their needs and setting boundaries, thus ensuring that their voices are heard and their needs are met. Another crucial layer is the willingness to embrace imperfections. No one is flawless, and the pursuit of perfection can be a major impediment to building genuine connections. Another crucial layer is the understanding that love is not a passive emotion but an active practice. It requires intentionality, effort, and a commitment to consistently showing up for the other person. This involves small acts of kindness, words of affirmation, and a willingness to work through challenges as a team. Now, consider how this applies when you are seeking to build or nurture a relationship. Are you willing to let go of unrealistic expectations and embrace the complexities of human connection? Are you committed to communicating your needs and feelings with honesty and clarity? And are you willing to actively participate in the ongoing process of building a loving partnership? The tapestry of conscious love, especially after navigating the terrain of wrongful accusation, often weaves in threads of forgiveness, not just towards others, but most importantly, towards oneself. It's a profound shift from harboring resentment and self-blame toward embracing self-acceptance. Imagine a craftsman meticulously repairing a shattered vase. Each carefully placed piece represents a facet of self-forgiveness, the acknowledgement of past mistakes and the resolute commitment to move forward, whole. Building on this, the capacity to relinquish control becomes paramount. Those who have endured such trials might develop a tendency to micromanage, to tightly grip the reins of their lives in an attempt to prevent future pain. However, conscious love thrives in the space of freedom. It's about relinquishing the need to control others or the trajectory of the relationship, allowing for organic growth and embracing the unpredictable nature of life. This mirrors a skilled sailor who, rather than battling the wind, learns to harness its power to navigate the vast ocean. Consequently, the ability to celebrate the present moment blossoms. Having weathered storms of injustice and uncertainty, individuals often develop a heightened appreciation for the beauty of everyday life. They learn to savor small moments of joy, to express gratitude for the simple pleasures, and to find contentment in the here and now. This is like a photographer who, after years of striving for perfection, discovers the magic in capturing the raw, unfiltered beauty of a fleeting sunrise. Furthermore, the willingness to embrace imperfections becomes a cornerstone. No relationship is immune to challenges, and consciously loving means accepting that both partners will inevitably stumble, make mistakes, and fall short of each other's expectations. It is about cultivating a space of grace, where vulnerabilities are acknowledged, apologies are offered, and growth is perpetually encouraged. This resembles an artist who, rather than discarding a flawed canvas, uses it as a foundation for a more profound and textured masterpiece. Conversely, the temptation to seek external validation can be strong. After enduring the trauma of false accusation, the desire to prove one's worth to the world can be overwhelming. However, conscious love recognizes that true value stems from within. It's about cultivating a sense of self-worth that is independent of external approval, allowing you to approach relationships with greater authenticity and confidence. Another crucial layer is the understanding that love is a dynamic, ever-evolving process. It's not a destination to be reached, but a journey to be embraced. It requires continuous effort, a willingness to adapt, and a commitment to growth, both individually and as a couple. Now, consider how this applies when you're striving to build or maintain a healthy relationship. Are you able to forgive yourself and others for past transgressions? And are you willing to let go of the need to control, Do you find yourself appreciating the present moment? And are you committed to embracing the imperfections of yourself and your partner? Additionally, after navigating the treacherous waters of being wrongly accused, the practice of self-advocacy becomes incredibly important. The experience can leave individuals feeling voiceless, powerless, and hesitant to assert their needs or defend their rights. Yet conscious love requires an active participation in one's own narrative, a willingness to stand up for what one believes in, and a commitment to protecting one's emotional well-being. Building on this, the ability to confront difficult truths, both within oneself and within the relationship, takes on new significance. The injustice of being falsely accused can create a tendency to avoid conflict, to suppress emotions, or to prioritize the needs of others over one's own. However, authentic connection demands a willingness to address uncomfortable realities, to engage in open and honest communication, and to navigate conflict with grace and respect. Consequently, the concept of interdependence, rather than codependency, becomes a crucial element. Those who have endured the isolation and vulnerability of being wrongly accused may be tempted to cling to their partners, seeking validation and security from external sources. Interdependence, however, encourages a balance. It is about fostering a relationship where both individuals maintain their autonomy, pursue their own interests, and support each other's growth without sacrificing their individual identities. Furthermore, the willingness to embrace change and adapt to evolving circumstances is essential. Life is dynamic, and relationships are constantly evolving. Conscious love involves a commitment to growth, a willingness to learn from mistakes, and an openness to adapting to the changing needs of each partner. This is akin to a tree that bends in the wind, remaining strong and resilient while embracing the natural ebb and flow of life. Conversely, a critical pitfall is the tendency to become overly cautious or guarded. The pain of betrayal and mistrust can lead to a fear of vulnerability, making it difficult to trust and open up to new experiences. It is important to acknowledge these fears, but not allow them to dictate the course of your relationships. Conscious love demands a willingness to take risks, to be vulnerable, and to trust in the possibility of a brighter future. Another crucial layer is the recognition of the role of shared values and goals. A strong foundation of shared values can provide a sense of stability and purpose in a relationship. It's about aligning on the things that matter most: integrity, compassion, and the pursuit of personal and collective growth. Now, consider how this applies when you are seeking to build or nurture a relationship. Are you willing to advocate for your needs and rights? And are you open to addressing difficult truths? Are you able to cultivate a sense of interdependence? And are you committed to embracing change and shared values? Furthermore, the concept of resilience, far from being a mere buzzword, becomes a living, breathing reality in the wake of wrongful accusation. It's no longer just about bouncing back, but about transforming the very essence of the self. Consider a seasoned artist whose reputation is tarnished by unfounded allegations of plagiarism. The initial shock might cripple their creativity, their confidence shattered. However, a truly resilient individual doesn't simply recover. They channel their pain into a renewed artistic vision. They might explore new mediums, challenge their existing style, and create work that is even more authentic and powerful. Building on this, the ability to find meaning in suffering emerges as a critical skill. Instead of succumbing to bitterness or despair, those who have endured unjust treatment often seek to extract wisdom from their experiences. They may become advocates for social justice, dedicating their lives to helping others who have been similarly wronged. This is akin to a mountaineer who, after surviving a perilous avalanche, dedicates themselves to teaching others how to navigate treacherous terrain. They transform their personal tragedy into a source of strength and purpose. Consequently, the cultivation of gratitude, surprisingly, often flourishes in the aftermath of such trials. After experiencing the depths of injustice, individuals often develop a profound appreciation for the simple things in life: the warmth of the sun, the support of a true friend, the ability to breathe freely. This isn't about ignoring the pain. Rather, it is about consciously choosing to focus on the positive aspects of life, even amidst adversity. This is like a desert traveler who, after enduring days of hardship, finds immense joy in a single drop of water. Conversely, the temptation to isolate oneself from the world can be a significant obstacle. The pain of being wrongly accused can lead to a fear of future judgment, making it difficult to trust or connect with others. However, while self-preservation is important, complete isolation can exacerbate feelings of loneliness and despair. The key is to find a balance, to create boundaries while still allowing for meaningful connections. Another crucial layer is the development of a strong sense of purpose. Having faced such a profound challenge, individuals often feel a renewed sense of urgency, a desire to make a difference in the world. They may dedicate themselves to a cause they believe in, or they may simply strive to live their lives with greater intention and integrity. Now consider how this applies when you are facing a difficult situation. Are you able to find meaning in your suffering? And are you committed to cultivating gratitude and pursuing your passions, even in the face of adversity? Furthermore, the journey to healing after an experience like this often involves a profound reevaluation of one's relationship with time itself. Initially, the days might stretch out endlessly, each hour a reminder of the injustice and the stolen life. The past becomes a heavy anchor, dragging one down into memories of what was and what could have been. The future feels impossibly distant, shrouded in uncertainty and fear. Building on this, however, a shift can occur. The very nature of time transforms from a linear construct into something more fluid, more cyclical. The focus moves away from dwelling on the past or anxiously anticipating the future and toward embracing the present moment. Each day becomes an opportunity for renewal, for rediscovering oneself, and for rebuilding a life on new foundations. Consequently, the ability to forgive the self for any perceived shortcomings becomes crucial. It is easy to fall into the trap of self-blame, to question one's choices, and to ruminate on the what-ifs. Forgiveness, in this context, is not about excusing the actions of others, but about releasing the burden of self-regret. It is about recognizing one's imperfections, acknowledging one's vulnerability, and choosing to move forward with self-compassion. Conversely, the experience of being wrongly accused can also lead to a heightened awareness of the fragility of life. The realization that one's freedom, reputation, and even one's very existence can be threatened in an instant can create a sense of urgency. It can inspire a commitment to live more fully, to pursue one's dreams, and to cherish every precious moment. This awakening is like a painter realizing the canvas is finite, thus prompting them to create with more passion and precision. Another crucial layer is the development of a strong sense of inner peace. This isn't about the absence of negative emotions. Rather, it is about cultivating a state of equanimity, a capacity to weather the storms of life with resilience and grace. It's about finding solace in the present moment, connecting with one's inner resources, and cultivating a sense of calm, even amidst chaos. Now, consider how this applies when you have faced a challenging or unfair situation. Are you able to release the grip of the past and embrace the present moment? Are you kind to yourself, and can you forgive any perceived shortcomings? Are you committed to living a life that is aligned with your values, and are you seeking to cultivate a sense of inner peace? Furthermore, the experience of being wrongly accused can catalyze a deep exploration of one's values. The very foundation of what one believes in is often shaken, forcing an examination of what truly matters. Is it material wealth, social status, or something far more profound? This process can lead to a reprioritization of life's objectives, a shift away from superficial pursuits, and a profound commitment to living in alignment with one's core principles. Building on this, however, the experience can also foster an unexpected sense of detachment from external validation. When one has been unjustly judged and condemned, the opinions of others lose some of their power. The need to impress or conform diminishes, replaced by a growing sense of self-acceptance and a willingness to embrace one's true self, regardless of external perceptions. This resembles a sculptor who, after years of striving for critical acclaim, finally finds liberation in creating art solely for their own satisfaction. Consequently, a newfound appreciation for solitude and introspection can emerge. The isolation that often accompanies wrongful accusations, while initially painful, can also provide an opportunity for deep self-reflection. It can be a time to reconnect with one's inner voice, to explore one's thoughts and feelings, and to cultivate a sense of inner peace that is independent of external circumstances. This mirrors a botanist who, after years of studying plants in a crowded laboratory, finds solace and inspiration in the quiet solitude of a secluded forest. Conversely, the experience can also ignite a passion for social justice. The injustice of being falsely accused can create a burning desire to advocate for those who have been similarly wronged. It can inspire a commitment to fighting for a more equitable society where truth and fairness prevail. This transformation is like a blacksmith who, after witnessing the suffering of others, dedicates their skills to forging tools for liberation and empowerment. Another crucial layer is the understanding that the pursuit of justice is a lifelong endeavor. The fight for truth, for fairness, and for accountability is not always a quick or easy process. It often requires perseverance, resilience, and a willingness to challenge the status quo. Now, consider how this applies when you are facing a situation where you feel wronged, misunderstood, or unjustly treated. Are you willing to examine your values, and are you committed to living in alignment with them? Are you able to detach from the need for external validation, and are you seeking to cultivate a sense of inner peace? Furthermore, the experience of being wrongly accused often illuminates the intricate dance between perception and reality. Often what is seen by the outside world is a distorted reflection, a fractured image shaped by biases, assumptions, and the narratives others choose to construct. This distortion can feel like living in a hall of mirrors, where one's true self is perpetually obfuscated, their intentions misconstrued, and their character perpetually challenged. Building on this, the development of a strong sense of personal agency becomes paramount. This is not simply about regaining control. It's about recognizing the power one still possesses, even in the face of adversity. It's about actively shaping one's own destiny, making conscious choices, and refusing to be defined by the accusations or the circumstances. This means refusing to be a passive victim and actively pursuing opportunities for growth and healing. Consequently, the cultivation of a strong support system becomes essential. The isolation that frequently accompanies such experiences can be profoundly damaging. Building a network of trusted friends, family members, or professional therapists can provide a vital source of emotional nourishment, a safe space to share one's struggles, and a source of strength during difficult times. This is akin to planting a garden, where the seeds of resilience are nurtured by a supportive community of caring and empathetic individuals. Conversely, the temptation to succumb to cynicism can be a significant obstacle. The experience of being wrongly accused can erode one's faith in humanity, leading to a belief that the world is inherently unfair and that justice is unattainable. This cynicism, however, can be a self-fulfilling prophecy, creating a barrier to connection, hope, and the pursuit of a fulfilling life. Another crucial layer is the recognition of the importance of forgiveness, not just of others, but of the self. The experience can leave one with a sense of shame, self-blame, and regret. Forgiving oneself for any perceived mistakes, for any perceived failures, is a critical step in the healing process. Now, consider how this applies when you have been unfairly treated or when you have made mistakes. Are you willing to examine how perception and reality can diverge? Are you actively working to cultivate a sense of personal agency? Are you building a strong support system? And are you willing to forgive yourself? Furthermore, the experience of being wrongly accused can dramatically reshape one's relationship with truth. Initially, the very concept might seem straightforward, a matter of facts and evidence. However, as one navigates a landscape where lies and misrepresentations abound, the definition of truth becomes far more complex. One begins to recognize that truth is not always self-evident, but is often actively constructed, manipulated, and contested. Building on this, the cultivation of discernment becomes crucial. This is the ability to distinguish between what is genuine and what is fabricated, to see through deception, and to recognize the subtle nuances of reality. Consider a seasoned journalist, renowned for their integrity, who is falsely accused of fabricating sources. This experience would force them to sharpen their skills of investigation, to meticulously verify information, and to develop an unwavering commitment to truth. Consequently, the development of intellectual humility often emerges. This is the capacity to acknowledge one's own limitations, to recognize that one does not possess all the answers, and to be open to different perspectives. The experience of being wrongly accused can shatter the illusion of forcing one to confront the possibility that they, too, are capable of being mistaken. This is like a scientist who, after years of studying a particular phenomenon, discovers that their long-held assumptions were flawed, prompting them to revise their theories and embrace new insights. Conversely, the temptation to become overly skeptical can present a significant challenge. The experience of being betrayed or misjudged can lead to a distrust of all information, a suspicion of all motives, and a reluctance to believe anything that one cannot personally verify. This excessive skepticism, however, can become a barrier to connection, to learning, and to the appreciation of beauty and wonder in the world. Another crucial layer is the recognition of the importance of cultivating a strong moral compass. When one's integrity is challenged, it is essential to have a clear understanding of one's values and principles. This inner compass provides a source of guidance, helping one to navigate ethical dilemmas, to make difficult choices, and to maintain one's integrity even in the face of adversity. Now, consider how this applies when you are evaluating information, forming opinions, or making decisions. Are you able to distinguish between fact and opinion, between truth and falsehood? Are you willing to question your own assumptions? And are you open to different perspectives? Are you committed to living a life that is guided by your values? And do you strive to maintain your integrity even when faced with difficult choices? As we pivot towards the final reflection, the contours of a profound transformation begin to emerge. The experience of being wrongly accused, a crucible of profound adversity, has revealed a landscape of interconnected complexities. We've traced the intricate pathways of emotional upheaval, the deep-seated patterns that both fuel the initial distress and shape the subsequent healing journey. We've considered the ways in which this experience alters one's perception of others, the system, and the very nature of justice itself. Drawing these strands together, we see a tapestry woven from threads of vulnerability, resilience, and a persistent yearning for connection. The initial shock of misjudgment ripples outward, impacting our communication styles, our capacity for empathy, and our ability to trust. Yet, amidst this emotional wreckage, a remarkable capacity for growth often blossoms. We've observed how the practice of self-compassion becomes a vital lifeline, how mindfulness offers a refuge from the storm, and how healthy boundaries become essential for protecting one's inner world. The narrative arc of this journey has taken us through the shifting sands of our relationships, where the very definition of love is redefined. We've witnessed the power of forgiveness, both of self and of others, and the profound shift from a need-based attachment to a conscious, intentional commitment to growth. We've seen the importance of embracing imperfections, of celebrating the present moment, and of recognizing that the pursuit of justice is often an ongoing process, a testament to the enduring human spirit. In light of these insights, the path forward becomes clearer. It is not a linear trajectory, but a spiral, a continuous process of self-discovery and growth. It demands a willingness to confront difficult truths, to embrace change, and to find strength in vulnerability. It calls for a commitment to authenticity, a willingness to build meaningful connections, and a persistent pursuit of inner peace. Reflecting on this journey so far, we see that the true measure of resilience is not simply surviving adversity, but thriving in its wake. We are not just witnessing the unraveling of a life, we are witnessing the forging of a new one. The echo of injustice, the phantom weight of false accusation, can reverberate through the very core of our being, leaving scars that are not easily erased. But within this experience, within the labyrinth of misjudgment and misunderstanding, lies a potent opportunity for profound transformation. We have journeyed together, tracing the emotional currents that swirl around this experience. From the initial shock and disbelief to the slow, arduous climb toward healing, we've explored the intricate web of internal patterns, the ways in which past wounds and present vulnerabilities shape our responses, and the crucial importance of self-compassion in navigating the emotional storms. We've also witnessed the profound shifts in perspective that can occur, the ways in which our understanding of others, of justice, and even of ourselves can be irrevocably altered. The path toward healing, as we've seen, is not a passive one. It is an active, intentional process that requires courage, self-awareness, and a willingness to embrace vulnerability. It calls for a commitment to honest communication, to setting healthy boundaries, and to cultivating a sense of interdependence. It is a journey that often leads to a deeper appreciation for the simple joys of life, to a renewed sense of purpose, and to a more profound understanding of what truly matters. The core of this journey is not about erasing the past, for that is impossible. It is about integrating the experience, about learning from it, and about allowing it to shape us into more resilient, compassionate, and authentic human beings. It is about reclaiming our narratives, refusing to be defined by the accusations or the circumstances, and choosing to live a life guided by our values. The true practice begins now, not as a conclusion to a story, but as an invitation to a new beginning. It's about finding the courage to trust again, to love again, and to embrace the beauty and complexity of the human experience. It is about recognizing that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can not only survive, but also thrive. We carry within us the capacity to heal, to grow, and to create lives filled with meaning, purpose, and connection. The echoes of the past may still linger, but they need not define our future.